I never imagined that one night could unravel 20 years of love, trust, and companionship. But life has a way of throwing curveballs when you least expect them. My wife, Emma, and I had been together since our early 20s. We built a life full of laughter, memories, and shared dreams. From buying our first home to raising two beautiful kids, we weathered life's storms side by side. Or so I thought. Emma had always been the adventurous one in our relationship. She loved trying new things, meeting new people, and pushing boundaries. I, on the other hand, preferred the comfort of routine and stability. Over the years, her spark became one of the things I cherished most about her. But sometimes, even the brightest sparks can ignite fires you never see coming. The idea of a permitted one-night stand had been a running joke between us early in our marriage. It was the kind of thing couples joke about during the honeymoon phase, never imagining it might become real. One free pass, she had said once with a mischievous smile. But only if it's Idris Elba. I had laughed it off, thinking it was harmless banter. After all, love and trust were the foundation of our relationship, weren't they? Fast forward to a few months ago, and those words came back to haunt me. Emma had started acting differently. At first, it was subtle, longer hours at work, more nights out with friends, and a strange new guardedness with her phone. I didn't think much of it initially. We were both busy, and we had our own lives to manage. But the little things began to add up, a sudden interest in fitness, a new wardrobe, and an air of excitement that had nothing to do with our life together. Something was off. One evening, as we sat on the couch watching TV, she casually mentioned a coworker's birthday party she planned to attend. "It's nothing big," she said, scrolling through her phone. "Just a few drinks with colleagues. I won't be out late." Her tone was light, but the way she avoided eye contact triggered something inside me. I nodded, forcing a smile, but a knot began to tighten in my stomach. The night of the party, Emma looked stunning. She wore a sleek black dress that hugged her figure perfectly, paired with heels she hadn't worn in years. She looked like the woman I had fallen in love with. But something felt distant, like she was dressing for someone else. "You look amazing," I said, trying to hide my unease. She smiled at me, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Thanks," she replied, grabbing her purse. "Don't wait up." The hours ticked by. I sat in the living room, pretending to watch a movie while my mind raced. I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. Then my phone buzzed, a text from Emma. "Having a great time, don't worry. Love you." It should have reassured me, but it didn't. The message felt mechanical, like it had been sent out of obligation rather than affection. By midnight, she still wasn't home. I called once, twice, 3 times. Each call went to voicemail. My heart pounded as I tried to convince myself there was a reasonable explanation. Maybe she lost track of time. Maybe her phone died. Maybe. But darker thoughts kept creeping in. When Emma finally walked through the door at 1:30 a.m., I was still waiting. Her cheeks were flushed, her hair slightly disheveled, and her eyes sparkled in a way I hadn't seen in years. "You're still up?" she asked, surprised. I nodded, trying to keep my voice steady. "How was the party?" She hesitated for a moment before replying. "It was fun. Just the usual office gossip and bad karaoke." She kissed me on the cheek and headed upstairs, leaving me there, my suspicions growing like a storm on the horizon. Over the next few weeks, the distance between us grew. Emma seemed happier, but not in a way that included me. She was distracted, always on her phone or finding reasons to stay late at work. One night, while she was in the shower, I found myself staring at her phone on the bedside table. I hated the idea of invading her privacy, but the doubts were unbearable. With trembling hands, I unlocked her phone using the passcode I'd known for years. My breath caught as I opened her messages. There it was, a thread between her and someone named Adam. My stomach turned as I read their exchanges. Inside jokes. Late-night confessions. And then the message that shattered my world. "Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again." It felt like the ground had been ripped out from under me. My mind raced, struggling to make sense of what I was seeing. Was this the one-night pass we'd joked about? Had she taken it seriously after all these years? My hands trembled as I put the phone back down and sat on the edge of the bed, staring into the dark. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. All I could do was wait for her to come out of the shower and confront her with what I knew. When Emma stepped out, her hair was damp, her robe loosely tied. She looked relaxed until she saw me holding her phone. Her smile faded. "Is everything okay?" she asked cautiously. I took a deep breath, hands shaking, and held up the phone. "Who's Adam?" I asked, my voice low but steady. Her face went pale. For a moment, she said nothing. The silence stretched, each second driving the knife deeper. She finally spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's not what you think, Ben." I laughed bitterly, shaking my head. "Not what I think. Last night was amazing doesn't mean what it clearly means. Don't insult me, Emma." She sat on the edge of the bed, hands clasped tightly in her lap. "It was just a mistake. A one-time thing. It didn't mean anything." Her words hit like a sledgehammer. The woman I had loved and trusted for 2 decades was confessing to a betrayal I never saw coming. "A mistake?" I repeated, my voice rising despite my effort to stay calm. "We've been married for 20 years. We built a life together. A family. How could you throw all of that away for a mistake?" Tears welled in her eyes, but I couldn't tell if they were from regret or self-pity. "We talked about this, remember?" she said. "Years ago, we joked about a free pass." "I thought," she trailed off, shaking her head. "I thought maybe it was okay. That it wouldn't hurt you." Her words stung worse than the betrayal itself. "You thought it wouldn't hurt me?" I said, my voice shaking. "How could you think I'd be okay with this?" She reached for my hand. I pulled away. "I'm sorry, Ben. I really am. I wasn't thinking clearly. I don't know what came over me." I stood up, pacing. "Who is he?" "Someone from work," she said softly, eyes on the floor. "It's over now. It didn't mean anything. It's done. Please, Ben, can we just move past this?" Her voice cracked. She looked at me with pleading eyes. But I couldn't bring myself to answer. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of our marriage. Every promise. Every dream. Every lie. And I thought about Adam. About the messages. About the trust that had shattered beyond repair. The next morning, I left the house before Emma woke up. I needed space. I needed to think. I didn't know if I could face her. I ended up at my best friend Mark's house, the only person I trusted enough to talk to. He opened the door, bleary-eyed, but his face shifted to concern when he saw mine. "Ben? What's going on?" he asked, stepping aside. I sat down on his couch, hands still shaking, and told him everything. He listened quietly, his expression shifting from shock to anger to sympathy. "Man, I'm so sorry," he said when I finished. "I can't imagine what you're going through." I nodded, staring at the floor. "I don't know what to do, Mark. I love her, but I don't think I can ever forgive her. How do you move past something like this?" He sighed, leaning forward. "I don't know, Ben. That's something only you can decide. But whatever you do, you're not alone. I'm here for you." Over the next few days, Emma and I barely spoke. She left notes, sent texts, tried to reach out, but I couldn't respond. Every time I looked at her, all I saw was betrayal. Finally, after a week of silence, I sat her down. "I can't do this, Emma," I said, my voice breaking. "I can't look at you without seeing him. I can't trust you anymore." She cried. She begged me to reconsider. But my mind was made up. "You made your choice," I told her. "Now I have to make mine." The divorce was long and painful. Dividing 20 years of life into separate piles felt like tearing pieces of myself away. But as hard as it was freeing. I realized that staying with her would mean living in the shadow of her betrayal. And I couldn't do that. I deserved better. In the months that followed, I focused on rebuilding. I leaned on friends and family. I rediscovered hobbies I'd forgotten. And slowly, I began to heal. The pain didn't vanish overnight, but it became bearable. I learned to let go of the anger and resentment. Not for her, but for me. And as I stood on the other side of the storm, I realized something important. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is walk away.